Bowls Australia acknowledges the traditional owners and custodians of the land in which this stream is produced. We pay our respects to all First Nations people and acknowledge elders past and present.
Session 2 here at Club Helensvale. It is Day 8 action of the World Bowls Championships for 2023. The first time we're going to be bringing you men's singles, and it is the one and only Aaron Disco Wilson against two-time world champion of champion singles runner-up Tony Cheung of Hong Kong, China. Very much looking forward to this contest, and Disco looking to become the third bowler after David Bryant and Margaret Johnston to do the Commonwealth and World Bowl singles doubles. So very much looking forward to seeing how he can go at this event right on home soil on the Gold Coast. Val Furbo here with you, and joining me is the one and only Barry Lester once again. Baz, how are you?
Yeah, very, very good, Val. Looking forward to this match. Tony, very well credentialed singles player, and obviously Aaron Wilson's resume speaks for itself. And as the wind gets up, players switching directions, east-west, now north-south, and it's in for a big game here. This will be a high-standard match. Tony Cheung, well, you said it, two-time runner-up, world champion singles player, and he's pretty much had that singles role for his country for quite a while now, so he's got that role because he is good at what he does, and it'll be interesting to see how this game pans out.
He's very good at what he does. We've got little Aaron Wilson here, Summer, the daughter of Disco and Jamie Lee Warsnop, watching on. Jamie Lee here as well, talking with Christina Christic and Alan Ryan. It's a family day at Bowls, and Summer offering sunscreen to everybody out there. Very mature duties early on in life. And Disco will be looking to get himself on the board early. He's had a really good start to his campaign. Both of these two part of 3 undefeated players in Section 4 in the men's singles. Barry, Aaron Wilson, 4 and zip. Tony Cheung in second, 4 and zip as well. So very, very, very intriguing contest. Disco's score difference, Baz, plus 61, 484 against 23.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, really. It's great to see, though. He's really got a spring in his step. We caught a glimpse, I know it was a couple of greens away, we caught a glimpse of how he's going about this morning, up and about the green, plenty of energy. He's got all the experience and good play to go with it, so yeah, he's going to be up against it, though. Big match, this one.
Big wins for Disco in his 4 matches so far. Took down Zvika Hadar of Israel this morning, 21-6. And then yesterday, Kushal Pillay was his victim in the final session, 21-8. Second session yesterday against Stanley Frederick Tafatu of Niue, 21-5. And in the opening match of the tournament, Zafar Yaman of Turkey, he won 21-4. So that's Disco's run, as Tony Cheung is going to get us off and running here at Club Helensvale on green 3. His run so far this tournament, a 21-15 win over Frank de Vries over the Netherlands. And then in the second round, he defeated Ricardo Rubinat of Argentina 21-11. And then the third round, it was a win over Zafar Yaman, 21-2, and this morning defeated Stanley Frederick Tafatu, 21-7. So both of them in pretty good form, both of them looking to get through to the quarterfinal stage. Dan Semin also in this group as well, Baz.
Yeah, Tony's left-handed, of course, Aaron being right-handed. That is the windiest it's been all day, Val. You wouldn't believe it. Just as the players lined up for this first end, the wind started to gust, so it's probably a good thing. You don't want it gusting halfway through and just players having to adjust as they get into the match. But
Disco just pops one right on.
Yeah, and that's it. You want to start off well. And, for this particular direction, as we saw in the finals on the weekend, this wide side here, this bowl's coming down on. Gee, can it turn? So, nice reply here. He's going to crash. Yeah, well, that's a big reply. Might be still down, but that's...
I have no idea who's got shot here. Marker points down. I reckon that's one to Blue, one to Tony Cheung. And, of course, both these bowlers using the XGs, so nice and easy for us in terms of telling you what bowls they are using. Saw Christina Christic and Alan Ryan get a big win this morning, 31-7 or 30-7 over the Zimbabwean duo. They've got a bye now, so they're sitting watching disco on the bank here as they relax and prepare for their next match against England, which is what we're covering after lunch. Aaron Wilson has his work cut out for him here.
Yeah, that's starting to gust, Val, that wind. I'm just having a good look at it now. So that might prove pretty deadly throughout this match. But both these players, well, what a reply here. Could he just lift that bowl? Well,
almost.
My goodness.
So both of them look pretty on early, don't they, Barry? And Disco straight away doesn't take any time on the mat. He's one of the quickest players that there is. And both of them will come up and have a look at the head and see what he's doing. Aaron Wilson coming in. Now, what does he have here? Barry just needs a little bit more weight.
Yeah, 2 feet out. All over it line-wise. Yeah, not a lot of room on offer here. And the drama with this head is, as you're not holding shot, you don't want to be providing more room for the opposition. You want to give Aaron Wilson a better look than what he's got at the moment, because right now it's hard to get another one in there. He could look to turn Aaron's bowl out of the head, make a couple, but once again, just don't want to move that jack out of there.
Interesting end to start proceedings here. Of course, 21 up is the format we're playing to. 2 hours and 15 minutes, the time limit in this 4-bowl singles format.
Forehand it is for Tony. Left hand up. Chasing after it. Must like it. It's close.
Not far away here is Tony Cheung.
Ball clean. What a shot.
Got it. Shot of the day so far from Tony Cheung. Absolutely brilliant.
What a ripper. And a little fist pump too.
He's fired up. He's ready.
Well, this is what you live for as a singles player representing your country. You want to come up against the best. You got to bring it. The energy. You want to bring the good play. You want to show to your opposition. You want that you're up for the challenge. And that's a big shot early on.
Aaron Wilson. Well, that's the message sent in the opening end. Disco, you're going to have to work for everything here. And he's overdone that. So what is the count going to be for Tony Cheung? It's at least 2. And it is 2. So good start for Hong Kong, China. Disco was right on it early, but Tony Cheung, just to negate him.
Other than Tony's first bowl, all 3 bowls were very effective. Aaron won't be upset, though. He had a very good end himself. It's good. Sometimes you can just, if you lose the first couple of ends, sometimes you can see that as a negative, but you've got to just try and grab all the positives out of it. As you see, he's lying a very good shot there, is Aaron. Just Tony came down and edged it out clean and fist pump to finish. A little run off out of the head. A little turnaround to his opponent, just showing that, once again, Tony, he's probably been having the singles role for Hong Kong now. Geez,
Close to
7 or 8 years, getting onto a decade. I would have definitely played against him back around 16, 17, somewhere in a multi-nations or something in a singles event. So that's a feather in his cap to be able to hold that role for so long.
It certainly is. Aaron Wilson doesn't need many more invitations here as he goes right on top of the jack.
Beautiful shot.
Great start to the second end. And Barry, you've spent an abundance of time with Aaron Wilson, both at state, national and international level. What makes him tick? What makes him such a wonderful bowler? Because he doesn't take too much time on the mat. He's such a master tactician when it comes to converting heads and playing these singles matches. What makes him such a wonderful player is a great reply from Tony Cheung.
I think Aaron's at the stage now where he's played so much bowls already at an early age. He just finds a way to get up for the big events. And it's a tough role for Aaron to play. Sometimes it's lonely out there, but as we see right now, he's got the good support crew around him. He's got good management, family, and so on. So already hearing some people yelling out "Go Aussies!" But with Aaron, in terms of his technique, yes, he's always been a quick player on the mat. But you'll notice with Aaron right now, just even in the background there, he's already mapping out what he needs to do. So when people say he's quick on the mat, yes, he is in terms of the time he spends there, but the time he studies on what to play. So you can see Aaron now studying what's happening. What do I need to do? Now I'll go to the mat and do it.
Yeah.
So that's the two way of doing it.
And he does it while his opponent's bowls are going down. He does it while his own bowls are going down. You don't often see him go to the head too much, do you?
No, and see Aaron there, he knew that basically the way the head's set up, he can't really improve it. So I'll just get a couple around the back. And as Tony comes down, so Tony will be looking to play backhand here, sitting the front blue bowl through the red. But Aaron, it's the maturity, it's the knowledge, shot selection, class player, and a good bowls brain. So all the touch and class in the world has Aaron, but at times you'll notice throughout this match there might be a time where he might spend a little bit extra time either on the mat or in around the head, just trying to really sign off on what shot to play, and that will present itself every now and then. But all in all, yeah, he's quite quick, but loves playing the hard shots. He doesn't shy away from them, and if they present themselves, he backs himself in. And the dexterity he has, the touch and class, usually shines through, and we'll see that no doubt through this match.
Sure will. So, Aaron Wilson holding one. Got last one to come here. We'll see what he does with it. Don't know if he'll want to disturb things too much. Maybe he can get rid of Tony Cheung's bowl and maybe stay around, but a bit of a safer line here for Aaron Wilson, and he'll take the shot, get on the board, kick himself off nicely as Darren Jackson gives him a little bit of a clap from the sidelines. Crowd slowly building here at Helensvale on this Wednesday afternoon on the Gold Coast. Beautiful Wednesday. This is the perfect way to get through Hump Day. Watching some bowls and sitting here in the sunshine.
Yeah, definitely. That's spot on, Val. And this facility here, Club Helensvale, now I've always been one of the leaders, but now they've thrown in that roof. Doesn't get much better than this. 2 outdoor grass plus an indoor covered carpet. Well, Aaron Wilson.
His first bowls in every single end have been monumental.
Yeah, front end pressure. It's definitely a strength of Aaron's in his singles. But then if that doesn't work, he's got all the shots to back that up. If the front two aren't working, and that's the key to singles. You got to be able to back yourself with all those shots, whether it be lead bowling or turning things or playing the big weighted shots. And Aaron, he's definitely got a beautiful weighted shot.
1 versus 2 in this competition. Both of them still to play. Dan Salmon of Wales. Dan out there right now. So those are the big 3 in this group. And these are the matches that can set up a section and that can set up a tournament. Aaron Wilson was so good at the Com Games last year, was just getting better and better. Lost the pairs early with Corey Wedlock, had time to prepare for singles, has his own little way of preparing. He likes to watch The Simpsons, Baz, is that it?
Yeah, loves his cartoons, does Aaron. And, Aaron doesn't mind to sort of spend a bit of time on his own. That's something that we all know about Aaron, being around Aaron, loves being around the team and all that, but definitely around major game environments. If Aaron can, he can try and get a bit of time on his own to really do what he needs to do, what's best for him, and that's the beauty of the makeup of these players. They got to sometimes come into a huge team environment where there's a lot going on, and Aaron still tries to maintain what he needs to do for him to get the best out of himself, and that's no doubt for every player how different we all are and what works for you, and there's plans put in place from the high performance staff to make that happen.
Jesse Nerona commenting SpongeBob. Not sure what cartoons Disco watches, but
Yeah, SpongeBob.
SpongeBob?
Definitely
Yep.
one of his big ones. Simpsons.
Yep.
I'm not really across cartoons.
I'm more of a Family Guy or South Park.
Yeah, all I remember is probably Astro Boy as a kid, mate. That's all I can really remember. But
Tony Cheung, well, he's got a complete stranglehold on this end now.
yeah,
He's got bowls all around the jack. There's a lot of room there, but I reckon he's holding a couple, 2 and a measure indicated by our marker.
yeah, Tony, heavy and wide there. A bit fortunate to sit that bowl of Aaron Wilson's, but Aaron he'll be pretty confident putting that back. If not, it might be some kind of sit and stay kind of shot here. He has got a few bowls to play with, maybe turn something up. Well, he's just going to
he's rocked through all of them. Pinballed his way through there, so Tony Cheung with an opportunity here. If he can get a little touch on this jack, there's a 4.
See Tony there. He sets up behind the mat. The grip's already done, so that's another one I probably haven't touched on. Majority of these players, well, pretty much every player, they'll have their grip sorted before they get to the mat. That's just one less thing to worry about. The mat's a place where you shouldn't have any worries or negative thoughts or too much confusion. The mat's probably the place where everything's set up, and then once you get to the mat, it's just a matter of executing the shot. And that was a really good example there, and we'll see more of it with Tony.
So Hazel, Dan Salmon's match is not live streamed. You can go to world2023.bowls.com.au, and that's where you'll find all of the live scores from across the greens and across the clubs here at the Gold Coast, the 2023 World Bowls Championships. Get a measure here to see what the damage is for Aaron Wilson. Tony Cheung has come to play.
I actually had an Astro Boy logo on a set of bowls
Did
many
you?
years ago. So,
Now, have you got the blessed on your bowls?
I think I've had blessed on one set of
Yep.
bowls, but
2 to Tony Cheung, so he takes a 4-1 lead after 3.
and of course that Daniel Salmon game's only being played a couple of rinks down, so we'll give you some kind of insight to what we can see going on.
And we can't see anything, unfortunately, because the scoreboards are on our side of the rink. We'll tell you what the heads look like.
We can tell you either the red bowl or the blue bowl has shot.
Yes, exactly right. And maybe not even then. We'll see how we go, though.
So, short jack here. Tony probably just rolling it about 27 metres there. Left hand up. See there. Nice follow through, Tony. Coming in on a nice line. He's got the right weight. Yes, he has. That's a lovely starter. So both players really drawing well. His first few deliveries, gee, it's so much better cosmetically when you can just look at the head and know you got a couple in there early. Start trying to dictate terms instead of having to chase the head. So Aaron Wilson comes down here with perfect weight and draws the jack. Great shot, Aaron Wilson.
His first bowl, yet again, right on the money.
I thought Tony might change there, but no, he's sticking to the backhand. So that's just a confidence thing. He wants to try and pack the head on one hand instead of chasing the shot early. But for me, I feel he's got to try and get the shot back as early as he can against a guy of this ability. Don't want to be leaving it too late. I think Tony Cheung's got to get down there on the forehand now while it's open. Aaron Wilson might close it off, though. Well, he hasn't, but yeah, I think it's got to be forehand for me. Just get down there, sit the bowl, trail the jack. He's going backhand again, so he's obviously very confident on this backhand. As you can see there, sets up the grip, sets up everything he needs to do well and truly before the mat, and just steps up and has a look at it. So he's trying to disturb this head on his backhand, turn his own bowl up or get down to the shot bowl. This particular side of the rink, the east side, drawing just under the peg, so that'll give you an indication. It's about 7 feet of draw there, 6 feet of draw. Aaron Wilson's trying to come in for another one here. Take a yard off his previous delivery. That's pretty handy. Don't know if it made it. It's fallen over. Close.
Summer Wilson here, just wreaking havoc with an Allen snake. Hit Alan Ryan, I think. And then thrown it at mum.
Tony, I think, yes, he is. So forehand. Let's see if this turn is anywhere near as wide as the other side of the rink with that crosswind. It's starting to get back now. Just going to... Weight's probably good enough to trail that jack for 2 or 3, but just missing high. So
Aaron Wilson, this is a big bowl here.
I thought Tony might have went there even with his second delivery. So for me, maybe a bowl or two too late. But at least now he's had a look at that hand, knows what it's doing.
So let's see what Aaron Wilson has got here. I think he might just be underneath. So 1 to the Australian, a 4-2 lead to Tony Cheung after 4. Very interesting start. Disco scoring in singles and Tony scoring in multiples from the first 4 ends, but we are going end for end. Matt Chip, Disco is using XGs.
So jack length here, 32 metres. And that gusting breeze really picking up now. Aaron Wilson just sliding past, about a yard through. Nice starter. As I mentioned earlier in the last game, you can't beat reaching with your first bowl and learning from what it takes to get there and work your way back. Learn from your experiences. If you need to adjust your weight, it might be just getting down a little bit lower or slowing down your tempo. And these players, they're just so quick. Nice opener from Tony Cheung. That's lovely. Aaron Wilson just needs to send it out probably a bowl higher. He's moving under, so... Just showing you that, see how that's turning away, Val? It just shows you, even into the breeze, that hand is still drawing nice. Now, I will say that that hand is a bit more protected in this direction because they're moving up under the grandstand.
Yep.
And that whole section of in this direction is pretty much protected from the breeze. You've got the large clubhouse, etc. So they're all the learnings the players are going through at this stage of the match. As you see Tony ripping across the head in what was a narrow hand in the other direction.
He sat Disco's away.
You will see that because of the protection of the grandstand and the clubhouse, that hand's just playing pretty much normal. So as we see here, you'd think that would be the line to take, and Aaron is out on a good line. And then you'll see the turn now because it's getting into the protected area. So the clubhouse, the grandstand, and you can see it's a nice turn there. So if you are missing your line with that long jack, what you would do is you'd probably bring the jack up to the middle of the green and play where the conditions are more open and where you can get probably more of an even feel to the conditions versus trying to battle the grandstand conditions. And that's just knowing your wares, knowing your environment. It's so important. Some players like to get out onto the green pre-roll up and have a bit of a walk around, bit of a feel for wind direction, bit of a feel for the rink. And just try and settle in as much as they can to the conditions, and then take those pre-game learnings into the match, and then see if they can contribute to performance. Because it's a very Aaron Wilson just missing through the hole there. It's a very condition-based sport, these bowls, and the quicker you can adapt, the better.
It's an opportunity now for Tony Cheung to take a 6-2 buffer here. Currently holding 1. Can he add in yet another 2 to his total?
Yeah, out on the high side. Looks a bit quick for me, Val.
Yeah, that's missing high.
Not quite sure why he changed. Maybe worried about jack movement, but anyway, He's held on. His first delivery stayed there for shot.
So we continue this end-for-end trend. 5-2 in favour of Hong Kong China's Tony Cheung. Very interesting start.
So as I did earlier with Christina Christick's delivery, I'll give you a bit of a run through on Tony Cheung. And remembering, okay, Tony would have come out of, his learnings would have been predominantly from some locals over there in Hong Kong, as well as some recent years he would have got some advice off Les Carter, now the Hong Kong China coach, and some other learnings from playing international level bowls. But very structured is Tony, and it's so important in singles. We spoke about how quick Aaron Wilson is, but everything's still very structured as Tony opens up with a lovely bowl there. So once again, jack length. Tony's rolled back-to-back jacks around that 33, 34 metre length, so long lengths.
And Disco again with his first bowl. He's not far away. It's a good home for the Australian.
So
Falls in as well.
I was just going to say, so let's have a look at Tony here asking the question, which is really good to see. He's not on the mat asking the question. He's behind the mat as he's working around behind the mat. So what he's doing is just in full prep mode here. Prep's done, grip's done, and then approaches the mat. So once everything's organised and decided, then approach the mat, because what these players don't like to do, and you'll see hardly any of them do it, is they don't want to be on the mat thinking about half a dozen things. They don't want to be thinking about line and length and positions and what the wind and all that are doing. They're trying to get all that out of the way well and truly before they get to the mat. And then once they get to the mat, it's just a matter of executing the pre-shot routine.
Best analyst in the business, Barry Lester. Right at home, Jackaroo. Over 250 international matches.
So Tony again on the backhand. Jack length 33, 34 metres. Really long length this one. He knows that Aaron Wilson, if he keeps holding onto some of these heads, won't be far away from playing some kind of weight. He needs to be getting them jack high or beyond. A man of this ability won't be far away from playing some big shots. Aaron Wilson here. He's can afford to arrive. Just trail the jack down to sort of 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. If not, come and land on Tony's nearest bowl. He's played it very well, Aaron Wilson. Is it enough to fall in for shot? Well, yeah, that's a great shot. So all of a sudden, he has the upper hand on Tony. Tony now finds himself only the one bowl in there, with Aaron holding first and third shot. And the key to probably playing against like Aaron Wilson now is you've got to just try and outnumber Aaron as much as you can, even if you're not potentially winning the end. Aaron here has got the ability to just come and sit that blue bowl for 3, but you need to be getting another one in there here. And I'm sure Tony's very focused on doing that. Doesn't want to go looking for the shot bowl here, take his own bowl out. He needs another one in there because Aaron Wilson, he won't be far away. So he isn't. He's playing big weight. This is risky. He doesn't want to remove his own bowl.
He doesn't.
He's looking for the shot bowl.
Oh, no, he's going to hit his own, Baz. He's going to hit his own.
Well, that's
why. And that
why.
is travelling. Now, is that 3 for Aaron Wilson here?
That's why athletes have coaches, Val. That shot, high risk, very low reward for me. I think the best he could get was maybe 1 out of that, but wow, I didn't see that coming. Tony Cheung.
And he's made such informed decisions based on his shots so far. So, Aaron Wilson, could this be a full count? And Locke's just alluded me to a point, Baz, where bowling towards us, towards the car park here, Aaron Wilson hasn't lost an end, and bowling towards the grandstand, it's been Tony Cheung as we get a look. Is that going to do for 4 or 3?
So in soccer, they call it an own goal when you give away
a collect or a goal.
In bowls, I feel for Tony then that was an own goal. He's ripped his own bowl out of the head to drop 4 shots. So,
and all of a sudden, we've won the same amount of ends. And after only scoring in singles before end number 6, Aaron Wilson pounces and gets a full count. He leads it 6-5 after 6. So I think we've lost the jack as well, have we? Almost hit the mat. It was very quick. Yeah, lost the jack. So it'll be a Hong Kong length yet again. And bowling in this direction, it has been all Tony Cheung. He's scored a 2, 2 and a 1. Can the pattern continue? We saw that in the vision impaired final the other day.
Yeah, it just surprises me there, Val. Like, my job here is just try and analyse what players are thinking, what's going through their mind when they're looking at shots, and probably what was going through their mind when they went for shots. And, the only really analysis I can give you on that, the reason why Tony did play weight, 5-2 up, only 1 down on the head, is that he's just trying to show that to Aaron that he's not afraid to be aggressive. I think maybe that was just Tony's way of saying, you know what, I can muck around, try and draw this shot, or I can just rip the shot ball out. But even so, Tony still didn't try and rip it out. He played hard, swinging weight.
Yeah.
So for me, it just nothing quite added up, and I'm just trying to give you as much analysing of that shot as I can.
It's and look,
it was a very, very hard one for me to sort of judge why Tony would play that.
Look, sometimes that happens. You make mistakes, but it's now about how Tony regroups from that. Because put himself in the position where he could give up a 4, shouldn't have done that. But, oh well, it happens. You're only down by 1. Just try and work back. Look at the positives. Hasn't lost bowling in this direction. Hopefully, mentally, he can stay on. Disco too short with the right line. What has Tony Cheung got?
Yeah, Tony's got a beautiful line, as you can see, 6 or 8 feet up the line, but he's just overdone it with that one. It might manage to get second, but all 4 bowls down the line. So they're both going to be very confident. Hitting that line again, feeling the weight. Jack on the tee there, so we'll just off it. But you can see there, just a little bit of shine. Just a little bit of shine around the tee there. So it's probably going to be where it's probably most quickest. So the players are trying to get in there where it's shiny and then hang around there once they get there. Aaron Wilson, so stiff there. Back cutting Jack for 1 down. So trying to correct with his first 2, just a fraction over. And back cutting the Jack for 1 down. So Tony Cheung, all of a sudden, he's staring down the barrel of winning this end and trying to bounce back. I think I'm with you, Val. If there's one thing he must do, he has to erase that happened a couple of minutes ago.
100%. You've got to remain positive in these situations, and it's much easier said than done, but he's going the right way about it. He's got that one into a good home, so Disco only down 1.
Only just missing the Jack there too, so you can see he's trying to give a bowl a chance, and that he's managed to get 3rd out of that, which is important because
if he trails it,
he can make the 3 and try and peg back some of that 4 he lost. And that's another part too. You drop a number, straight away you think the first instinct is, how do I get it back?
Yep.
Well, that's the last thing you need to be thinking about.
Just continue with your rhythm. Don't think about the score. And you're one that doesn't like to really think about the score too much.
No, so the first thing you got to be doing is putting all your focus and emphasis into that first bowl and how you can get it close and start the process of getting the 4 back, not how do I get it back.
You don't want to get it back in one end, because if you start doing that and you're playing to try and score a maximum every time, which it's nice if you can, but very, very unlikely that you're going to do that.
Yeah, it just shifts the focus to the scoreboard, which is not what the game's about. It's just must build each bowl at a time, try and get as many close as you can, and hope that that's enough to get the score back in your favour. Tony Cheung. Backhand here. Just needs to get down now. Not bad weight.
Not bad at all.
Good
Will
effort.
it sit for two? Just, I think it's pulled up short. It has
It's
fallen
close.
down.
Very close.
We tend to favour the jack-high bowls when we're looking at this, but I'm not so sure. Disco's does look pretty close. I reckon this might be two, though. Certainly helped that it fell in. What will Disco say? One taken out. That is the two. So Tony Cheung, again, wins in this direction. Regains the lead, 7-6 after 7 ends. Really intriguing matchup here, Baz.
Yeah, and so far there's been great bowls played. You know, some weighted shots, some draw shots, some unfortunate results. One of them being the back cut of the jack from Aaron. So if he was an inch high, he probably guts as the jack, goes with it for a good one. But they're the nuances of the game of bowls that present themselves, and you got to try and just hang in there, stay tough. But for Tony, he'd be pretty happy the way he's going. Just the score looks pretty good, 7-6. He made that very unfortunate mistake 2 ends ago, but as we
he
said,
regrouped.
As we said, Val, that's right. He regrouped and he focused on what he could control moving forward, and that's a major part of this game. There's going to be some negatives that happen. There's going to be some bad experiences. It might be you, it might be your teammates. There might be something that sort of can create a negative vibe or a negative mood amongst the rink or yourself. But it's how you react and how you move on and how you ride the emotion. And in a team event, say a Saturday playing in a pennant environment, something goes bad, well, you've got to bury it quick, stay positive, and try and move on to the best of your ability. Because once again, we keep reminding our viewers, yes, there's a result for a win or a loss here, but shots also. Both players, you know, Tony already, he's only going to be, if he didn't score again, minus 14. So, you know, the quicker he can try and get to double figures, and even if he doesn't potentially win, he knows that only losing to Aaron Wilson in single figures would be one of the first goals if he isn't winning the game.
Maintaining that shot difference because he does have Dan Salmon to come in the draw. Of course, Dan Salmon, a 2-time Commonwealth Games champion. Covered him last week in the men's pairs. The next match for Tony Cheung will be against Zvika Hada of Israel. Aaron Wilson. Right after this, green 1, rink 3, Dan Salmon. Very interesting contest. Great to see the sea of blue out here for the ITOs. Absolutely sensational. They do a wonderful job.
Blue everywhere, yellow everywhere.
Got Vicky walking past us. Absolute superstar.
Yeah, Vicky does an amazing job. Always at the major events. As we see Tony Cheung, he's holding 2 here. Aaron Wilson needs connection. He's got it.
Aaron Wilson, well, this car park end has been well and truly owned by Disco so far.
So as we see there, Tony Cheung coming, have a look at this head. Aaron Wilson, he knew that, okay, if he gets a gap, that'll be bad luck, but he just knew he had to be there, give it a chance, sit the bowl, trail the jack, and he's played it perfect, coming in on a high line there. So 2 down to 1 up, but now if there's probably ever a time that Tony should play the weight he did play 2 ends ago in this direction, should be now. Rip the bowl out for 1 or 2. If he kills it, he's got two at the back. So it'll be interesting to see what Tony does here. Or do you bury the weight and just try and back yourself to get another one in there and hopefully be enough for shot? He's chasing it.
Now, he's not far.
It is getting absolutely bashed.
Yep.
So that might
He chased
struggle
it,
to
and then
stay in bounds.
As soon as he started chasing it, it completely whisked away.
Well, we're sitting under a marquee here, Val, and it nearly took off. Lucky we got the...
Water weights, the metal weights.
Yep.
It's a good little gym workout lifting those back.
It's been a gusty week or two, really, when you think about it. Hasn't been many days without any wind.
Now, has Disco just promoted his in for second then? No. So just the one. So Disco has scored in 4 ends so far, Baz. 3 of them ones. That 1-4 is really holding sway at the moment. And you look at Tony Cheung's scoring pattern. He scored 3 2s in the 1 single. So he's actually, when he's scoring, he's not going up in singles, is the Hong Kong China representative.
Yeah, Aaron just trying to get that jack on that tee here. Let's see how he goes. It's running in. That's lovely. So
that's where he wanted it earlier.
Yeah, that's where Aaron feels more comfortable. Remembering only 3 or 4 days ago, he was trying to win a gold medal, only half a rink over. So he'd be familiar with the surrounds. As we actually see someone there peeping their head through the camera hole there.
Yep, creeping.
Nice view of the action there.
Getting really hit by the sun too. I reckon that elbow. You can't see it on the camera, but...
Nice start by Aaron over that distance. 34 metres. One bowl there, just a couple of feet short. So, nice start from Aaron. We're just going to see these bowls turn in from a high line the closer they get to the protected area. So, you'll see this turn off quite sharply in the end. So, off it starts to go, and turning away. So, that just shows that turn is there on the narrow side under the grandstand.
You see where he's looking there, just to the left of the cameras, right in between those Apia logos.
Yeah, all our partners are up on the board there. Yep. Mac, Max, Apia. Great to see so many partners, and thank you for all your contributions.
I noticed you went straight to those two, Barry.
Yeah.
Mac, Max and Apia Ambassador.
Right at home, of course. And the AIS, how good is it to be able to go down there and train in the facilities there, and learn from the experts when it comes to all the sports science kind of things, and utilise the gyms. And yes, we had a good cooking class last trip to the AIS. I can't remember what Alan and Christina cooked up that particular day, but learning how to cook for yourself on the road and what those foods look like when spending 2 or 3 weeks in a hotel room or an apartment.
I had Chrissy on the right line recently, and she was cooking Swedish meatballs.
So, Aaron Wilson on the forehand. He's just going to miss under here. Fairly decent weight. Is it going to hang around for a counter? Well, it should do. So, Tony Cheung here, he's got to get going. He's at least 2 down, I believe. He's got to find the sweet spot with this one. He does want to save it to his last bowl. Backhand it is. Needs to try and finish high. Well, he looks good. Aaron Wilson taps his thighs. He walks past the head. That's telling us that it's not far away. And in it comes for shot.
So what does Disco do here? Hasn't lost in this direction. So you back him in to try and finish this one off. What's your specialty in the kitchen, Baz?
Gourmet hot dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, just throwing one out there for you.
Nice.
So, I
mad invite.
Yeah. Chorizo sausage. Love chorizo. Yeah, so I cut up the chorizo, cook it, of course, and then I spread it through the hot dog roll with the salads, feta cheese.
Disco.
That should be nearly enough.
Well, it sounds as good as what that shot would be for Disco. I was wrong, sorry. This is the way that Tony Cheung has ended up winning, so nobody has won multiple ends. But no, that does sound all right, Baz. I'll be heading over to your place after this.
And as we see the head situated like this, Val, this is where you start to think, all right, I've got shot. Well, I'm confident Tony's got shot anyway. I know Aaron's is close there, but I'm confident Tony's got it. This is where you start to think, well, what if I do shave the jack? Like Tony comes down a couple of feet heavy and halves that jack. He can go 1 or 2 down over there at sort of, 4 o'clock. So this is where you're generally pretty tentative with your last bowl. But a sign that you're really on and confident is you draw this. And is Tony on and confident?
He might just be Barry Lester. Tony Cheung is up for the fight, scores a single, and continues this remarkable trend. Nobody has won a multiple end yet. After 9, it's 8-7 in favour of Tony Cheung of Hong Kong, China. Or was it 2? I think it was in the end.
Yeah, I had it for 2. Yeah, definitely. And that's
I thought Disco might have slotted him for 1 there. Sorry, 9-7.
Yeah, it's one of those ones you can approach that head and go, oh, there's a few things that can go wrong. But once again, if you're in good touch, in good nick, and you're really confident about how you're going about it, you most times will really hunt in there and try and nail the jack and draw it and back yourself. And there's no better signs from a player when they're on their game, they're playing the hard shots with all the confidence in the world. And you will see that in team events. Some players, if they're just lacking a bit of confidence, they'll move to the negatives first. So for that example, just touching on that last head there, Val, if you're suffering from a little bit of lack of confidence or you're not quite on top of your game, you probably look at that head and start going, what can go wrong? Versus when you're confident and you're really backing yourself and you're in good touch, you just focus on the positives and say, well, I've got 2 feet to draw another. So that's one thing you can work on in your training, just seeing heads approach the positives first and then assess the negatives, but don't concentrate on the positives. And that's where that risk assessment is so crucial before playing the shot. Look at the head, do a risk assessment, look at all the positives, grab all them, go away and play your shot.
Yep, that's sound advice, Barry. As Tony Cheung, he is confident. He's very confident here. Look at where that's sat. Disco gave him something to sort of play to, and his drawing has been magnificent so far. This is the end, however, where Disco has tended to get the job done. Hasn't lost in this direction. So, will the pattern continue yet again?
Oh, all over it. Look at that. Right down the line, Aaron Wilson.
Those last 3 bowls, it was the first one. Well, the first one was a little sighter from Tony, but Aaron Wilson has found the line magnificently on both occasions. What a wonderful day it is here at Club Helensvale. The flags are pretty limp out there.
Yeah, it's probably... I think it's threatening to get worse, Val, but hopefully it doesn't.
We don't want to think about that.
No.
And Tony just pops in another one. Where does Disco play to here? He's on the forehand. See what he can do with this line. He's found it pretty well so far in this direction.
And that's the key. Just nail that line again. Try and feel the right weight.
And I tell you what,
he hang around.
Might have done so.
He's played it.
I reckon he has. Aaron Wilson. But now Tony Cheung, I think the opportunity is there for him. Can he play that same bowl, get rid of Discos, sit and stay? Does he just do what he's been doing? He's figured it out to that hand. So we look at the way that one arcs in there from Aaron Wilson.
Yeah, Tony's bowls for me are fairly well locked in here, Val. So I think it'll be definitely weight. Does he look to play weight just to get the bowl out, or does he look to play weight where he swings into the head where he gets another reward, and that's the jack? So getting down to that bowl, he might be narrow and get the jack. Let's see.
Is he going for the jack,
back
Barry?
in time.
They are swinging hard in this direction, but it won't swing enough, and it's going to end up pretty much where his previous 2 did. So Aaron Wilson with an opportunity here to pop in a second. Does he try and just land in front of these 3 bowls here? Use that as a target?
This is nearly identical to the last end where you're holding shot, but your confidence will identify how you go about this. So, yeah, forehand again for me. Just play the same bowl as his last. He's hit 3 beautiful lines down the middle. Do that again. If he feels the weight, he can add another. But ideally, you just want to be punching full bowls down there on the forehand on the same line. So will he be rewarded for great line and good weight here? Aaron Wilson needs to get back.
It's coming. It's
Jeez,
trying.
It's turning hard. That's going to be enough for me.
That'll do. So he scores his second multiple, Aaron Wilson. That's what I was alluding to. He could use those bowls, sit them, stay there, and take a multiple and take a level score. 9 all after 10. This match has been so intriguing. No one with multiple ends in a row as of yet. Disco very quick on the mat. He's gone long again. Tom Rowe asking what brand of bowls they're using. Both using Henselite Dreamline XGs. "25 degrees, the top today, and it's sitting right at that at the moment."
And where Tommy Rowe's watching from today, beautiful town of Lakes Entrance, 18 degrees and sunny. So
Yeah, Melbourne apparently a beautiful day down there and in Victoria. No cloud. Lakes Entrance. I've never actually been down before.
oh, you're missing out. You are missing out, Val Febo.
I've heard it is absolutely brilliant.
Lakes Entrance, the home of the East Gippsland Lakes, dolphins, boating, fishing, you name it.
I've heard it's beautiful down there. There's so many places in my own state that I haven't been able to get to, let alone around Australia. Went to Hanging Rock for the first time recently. Sprained my ankle walking on a flat path, so that went well.
So, yeah, he's played it well. That's great rhythm there from Aaron Wilson.
Sitting jack high now, and Tony might want to use that as a target. Who knows? Just something to play to. Again, this is the direction where the Hong Kong China product has done his best work. Two-time world champion of champions, runner-up. That one just drifting through, but he's got a nice little catchment back there. It's nice and peaceful out here today as well. As a couple of times we've had an echo of wind and swirling breeze, but it's really nice and peaceful. You can hear a few cars, but beautiful day.
Tony Cheung with his third delivery here. Backhand it is. His hand playing quite nice. He's bowl or jack here. He's in the hunting zone.
He's running after it. Well, he's knocked Aaron Wilson's up another roll, but
yeah, still one down though. Good effort.
Aaron Wilson, an opportunity here to finally win an end in this direction, and that could possibly break the match open. Obviously, you don't know, but you know, when things have gone in a rhythm for both players, a change to that rhythm could be interesting. Aaron Wilson with a big chance now.
And it's the ability, if he does win the NVAL, to be able to dictate terms heading back the other direction. So he'll be looking to add a bit more grass on his last bowl. City zone shot bowl or trail the jack for 3 here. Needs to get around the front.
He's done that, and he's sitting right with his other bowl, with the shot bowl. So Aaron Wilson holding 2 in a measure currently.
Yeah, what a great shot there from Aaron Wilson.
Measure for third. I'm tending to favour that bowl at about 330.
Yeah, it's a tough one to pick from where we are, but Aaron Wilson's holding 2, and there isn't really a gap between jack and the bowls. If Tony Cheung can get the jack in the ditch, he can make 2, but if he gets it over near the right tee, he can make 3 or 4.
So you're saying forehand here?
Yeah, he'll be definitely into this, I think, for Tony. He'll be looking for weight. Jack back. If he's under the jack, he might take the 2 bowls of Aaron Wilson's out. He has got that shot in his catalogue of shots. Tony Cheung, he's close here. Needs the jack.
Not far away.
He's played it.
Oh, it's come forward and it's still worked out, I believe. Well, that is remarkable.
Yeah, geez, the Sporter Bowls that just throws these things at you all the time. He's picked up a 2 there, but he was putting the jack in the ditch for 2, to be fair. But
possibly even more.
Yeah, as you see, Aaron was just putting the jack on the tee just to show that if Tony had killed it, he would have been holding 2 or 3 on the tee. So just the Sporter Bowls just throws up those things for you. But all in all, he hit what he was going for, and just fortunate to see the jack go to where his bowls
were. And that's exactly what he was going for, though, Baz. Not obviously to secure a 2 in that manner. Watch this. So it comes around, he's in the area, hits it as well as he would have liked, comes off Aaron Wilson's bowl, ricochets onto his back bowl, comes forward, and that little catchment to the side is very welcoming. And the pattern, Barry Lester, continues. Tony Cheung has only scored one single in this match. 5 multiples Sits on 11, leads 11-9.
Yeah, if you could super slow-mo that, and that's not putting any pressure on Locke.
He's just shaking his head straight away.
Or pause it even. You will see there's a bit of a double bounce there, but when he first connected the jack, it was going into the ditch.
Because it
behind
skied off, yeah.
And then it hit the back bowl of his own and came across and hit his bowl that initially hit the jack, and that stopped it from going out of bounds. So if it went out of bounds, Aaron Wilson actually would have picked up too. So as we see here, the bowl that hits the jack initially hits the jack again.
Yeah.
So here and then there again.
Mm.
And if it had went out of bounds, Aaron wins 2 shots on the tee.
Yep.
As opposed to going 2 down. So that's just how bowls, once again, it throws up these things, and you just got to be able to, deal with it and move on.
What's been the saying, or one of the sayings this week, apart from a yard more after 4, bowls giveth and bowls taketh away. And that time, bowls certainly took it away from Aaron Wilson, because it was just the sheer pace of what Tony Cheung had delivered, because it stayed consistent, didn't deviate, didn't slow down, and the jack sort of met it back again on the run through. To hit a bowl to hit the jack twice, it's very rare.
And you take it, fella. Look, if you had said to Tony before he played that shot, Tony, you're actually going to put the jack out in the wing between those 2 blue bowls and score a 2, Tony would go, how's that going to happen? Because it was not even an option. But the fact that he hit his intended target, which he sat the shot bowl there from Aaron Wilson, he hit his intended target, which was the jack. He was trying to put in the ditch for 2, but it ricocheted around, and sometimes those go badly against you or they go well for you. But Aaron Wilson here, he's responded well. He's put a close bowl in there. Tony just sat it. Can he put another one back?
Needs it to dart. It wasn't far off, but he's got a couple of bowls in a good home. So Jenny asking why the players and teams are only using blue or red. That's the colours of bowls that you are required to bring to the Com Games or World Bowls Championships. You bring a set of blue and red bowls each, and it determines if you're first on the scoreboard. So like Disco, if he's on top, he's red. If you're on the bottom, you're blue. Just makes it easier for bowlers to differentiate the heads, and also for us broadcasters as well and fans in the stands. Makes it very easy to determine who is who.
Mark Rooney, g'day mates. Hope you're well. As it's top temperature now here on the Gold Coast, 25 degrees. Strong southwester. Easters just having more effect on the bowls, I feel, in this direction, as Tony Cheung needs to get clear of that one. Well, he's made Aaron Wilson switch hands here, which is not quite in his favour, because Aaron wanted to originally try and trail the jack to his bottom left 2 bowls. But
could he still get there?
I don't think jack's in favour, but I think more so bowl now. But I think what you'll see with Aaron is yes, he is. So he's coming down to have a look. So that the reason Aaron's mainly coming to have a look now is because you can see his risk assessment. So he's standing jack high. His risk assessment is just saying, listen, okay, I'm 1 down, not the end of the world, but I do only have 1 bowl in the head versus Tony's 4. So that's where that beauty of coming down, have a look, opens everything up. So you can see all the different angles, start thinking about his weight control. You turn around, the shot's already been played in his head 4 or 5 times walking down the green. Now it's just a matter of coming down, solid weight, sit the shot bowl. He's played it well to there. Aaron Wilson.
He's not far away at all.
Bowl clean for 2. Well, he's played it. What a shot, Aaron Wilson.
Monumental from Aaron Wilson, and I believe the trend may continue, but did he hit it too hard?
The weight control was perfect there. The reason he had to play sort of 10 to 20 feet away is there, he just couldn't play it any quicker and bring the edge of his own bowl into play, and he played it perfect, Aaron Wilson. And that's how you win the big singles matches. Backing yourself, play the hard-weighted shots, and get it done.
Well, we're going to get a measure here. Not too sure. So, Dave O. Johnson asking, what if you don't like blue or red bowls? Well, unfortunately, you've got no choice. And Joanne, yes, they do bring their own brand. So, Aaron Wilson does save it. And, well, Baz, the trend just continues.
Amazing. It's amazing.
It hasn't happened much that I've seen where we've gone 12 ends and 6 each in the different directions. Unbelievable.
Yeah. No, but this is proving. This is probably proving more of a reason why you should look at your card after the game, or in a team environment, especially if you're playing second and you've got the card. Let's say in a fours game, if you're filling out the card and you're playing second, and you're not showing what's on that card to your team, well, that is almost
cardinal sin.
It's almost wow.
What?
A cardinal sin.
Oh, I didn't even mean that.
Wow, that's Val. That is good.
I'll take it, but I didn't mean it.
Wow,
it's just the first thing that popped into my head.
So what I was getting to?
Maybe I'll just leave.
So what I'm getting to? No, that was good.
I didn't mean it.
No, but there you go.
Yeah.
You have all this vital information right in front of you. Nice shot there from Tony. The card in your hand when playing second in a fours environment tells you what you've just been covering off on Val. Patterns of the game. What direction are you winning ends in? What direction of ends are you losing in? You can even break it down and say, all right, let's look at the ends we've won, look at the ends we've lost. What distances have they been on? You can look at patterns. Have we won multiple ends in a row? Have we lost multiple ends in a row? The card throughout a match of bowls, whether it be singles, pairs, fours, triples, it will give you so much great, insightful data that can really implement and help you potentially change the pattern of the game or try something completely different if things aren't working. There might be something that shows up on the card that you're always losing in a certain direction, so you might change the length when you play in that direction, and so on and so on. So if you've got that card and you're playing second or in any team environment, share the information on that card with your teammates, because it's a lot of good to come out of that.
100%. It's a great tip for all bowls.
Sorry, just on an extension of that, Val. So what will happen, let's say after a game of bowls, let's say a pennant match, 21 ends, you'll walk inside the club, or even before you walk inside the club after a game, you'll say to the second, I guess look at the card, I just want to see how we went. Well, it's too late.
Yeah.
I want to see if there's any patterns in the game that sort of hurt us. Well, guess what? You're probably going to look at the card and there were some patterns in the game that hurt you, but it's too late to fix it.
Exactly.
And you could have tried to fix it during the game if you were looking at what the card was telling you.
So keep analysing the cards. Keep having a look, and I'm sure Disco and Tony Cheung will be having a look at the card at the moment, saying, all right, still haven't won multiple ends in a row. Aaron Wilson doing a really good job to try and fix that. Tony Cheung with one to come here. I believe. He's having a look. Sorry, Tony's got, I think, can't quite tell there. No, down at the moment. He's got one to come.
Yeah, two down.
Yeah. I was right originally.
It's definitely one of those heads again, Val. You know, backhand, okay, if you can somehow remove his own, he might drop another, but
backing him to say this.
It's so weight critical here. Sit and stay or kick it through the jack.
Does the pattern continue? He has gone with weight. He's not going to knock his out again, is he? He gets a little rub and he comes in for shot. Wow. It's happened again.
Well, for me, I thought he was off course. I'm sorry, but I gave it up. He was high. He's kicked his wide bowl through the shot bowl.
And Barry...
it stayed for shot.
This is unbelievable. 13 ends. Still nobody has won multiple in a row, two in a row. It's beggars belief, really.
Almost a dream setup for Aaron Wilson there.
He was...
one on the front, one on the back. Not really many.
And he would have been just
wrong.
praying, don't just clip it, hit it clean.
And he's halved his own in to the shot bowl and stayed. So,
but now twice going in this direction, Tony Cheung has just got a fraction of luck. With that little slide of the bowl, to push it in for shot. And then with the double touch of the jack, a Hong Kong China product leads at 12-10 after 13. Aaron Wilson can't let that get the better of him mentally. What a remarkable contest this has been, Tony, wide and short. Aaron Wilson going to be underneath that front bolt.
Yeah, both players choosing the narrow side, Val.
Doesn't need any more invitations, but he'd still like to have a couple more feet on there as the wind does swirl a little bit. It's getting to that point, Baz, where lunch will be coming soon, I reckon. Starting to get pretty hungry. You just tucked in on a sandwich.
Yeah, I couldn't find the meatballs, mate.
Might be going for one of those ham and cheese melts that they've got here.
Nice correction from Tony, considering he had to switch hands. So he's gone from short and wide on the forehand to a nice opener on his backhand. So for me, I really do feel in this direction this is the kinder hand. The reason I say kinder, I think you've got more chance of having effect on the head, because if you're narrow, you can pick up the jack.
Aaron
like
Wilson.
That, or just missing.
But that'll do for shot.
Or you come in on an angle to sit things. So one of the probably most common questions you get asked is, Barry, in windy conditions, what do you feel is the best hand to play? Well, it still comes down to each day, but for me, I think I always prefer the wide side, because when you're coming in on a high angle back into the head, you're coming across the head, and that gives you the opportunity to sit or trail or move things. Whereas if you're playing the narrow hand, you can get pushed out and not come back into the head. So, but once again, it comes back to personal preference and what direction the wind's coming from. It might be a headwind, a crosswind, etc.
Aaron Wilson, well, you need to be on a bit more of a wider line there. They are turning a mile on the forehand side out there for Wilson. Holding one. Tony Cheung leads by 2. Played 13 ends here. Of course, we're racing to 21. First one there wins. This match just over an hour old, so they're getting through it pretty quickly in the amount of ends that we've played. Well and truly over the halfway point.
Yeah, both players moving around at a pretty good rate, Val. You know, they're not sort of dawdling. They're up and down the green, chest out. Both proving to one another they're up for this challenge.
Dave Hockey asking, is Disco using XGs? And yes, he is. So is Tony Cheung. So, what has Tony found here, though? Is it going to swing in? It's just going to dart past. So, Aaron Wilson with a chance to level proceedings here. And again, continue this trend. Aaron Wilson. It's been a really intriguing contest so far. Great to have everyone's company from wherever they're watching from around the world. Is this one going to run on for Disco? It is not. It's going to end up with his last. But he's back on the board, and again, bowling to this end. Disco wins it. Somehow we continue in this bizarre pattern. 12-11 in favour of Tony Cheung. That 1-4 for Aaron Wilson still looming large. Barry Lester on N6.
Wow. I can't believe not one of these players has won 2 ends in a row yet. That is an incredible stat, Val.
After 14 ends, you'd back it in to happen at least once, but...
Yeah, you would. You would for sure. No, there's no doubt about it. If you presented this game to someone right now and said, yeah, you know, that's exactly what happened, it would be hard to believe. You don't hear or see it very often, even in any format of the match, let alone singles.
So, that one's not a bad line. Aaron Wilson would be absolutely desperate. He has only led Barry after one end in this match. That was after the 4. Dropped to 2 immediately after to go down 7-6. And since then, he's only been at level pegging.
Oh, nice shot there from Tony.
It's just unbelievable. It's just, I think it's going to come down to who can pick up multiples in their certain directions. Because the way they're going, one looks extremely comfortable on one side, in one direction. Having said that, what has Aaron Wilson got?
Nice reply, just crashing on Tony's bowl there, but it's a nice second, and that's the key always. Just got to hover around. Shots a bonus. Just try and get second, get third, just get bowls in there, create opportunities.
A win to either of these two, very important, with Dan Salmon also undefeated in this section. So a loss certainly doesn't help. Dan Salmon, not sure what his score is, but you'd assume he'd be in control. He's had a very good start to this tournament in singles play. Taking on Turkey, Zafar Yaman, I believe, or no. It's on a different rink. He's taking on Fiji. Taking on Fiji, and he leads 17-3. So Dan Salmon looking like he's going to jump on a 4th win. Tony Cheung holding. Pulling towards his favoured grandstand end. Chasing in behind it. He's gone around the back. Maybe he feels as though Disco might be playing with some weight.
Don't think he's achieved the tee there, though, Val.
No.
So Aaron Wilson, backhand looking for the shot bowl, clean. Needs to get down. Well, is there another result for him then? Wow,
Whoa.
It's come forward. It's come forward.
Can you believe it? It's just not his end. It is not his end.
I'd really wonder, and I guess we don't want to bother Aaron after the game, but I really wonder.
He'd do anything for you, wouldn't he?
I really wonder if he'd actually know that. Do you think he actually knows?
I'd be keen to ask him. I'll give you some homework, Barry.
Well, I could probably go over to Karen and ask Karen now whether she knows. But that wouldn't really achieve anything. But what I'm trying to get to is I'm trying to find someone that's been watching this game and this game only, because there's other games going on, that would be invested in this game enough to have probably witnessed that is the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah, certainly. It helps that we've got the scorecard right in front of us. But again, Tony Cheung wins bowling to the grandstand end, takes a 1, and leads at 13-11 after 15. Now we're only scoring in singles. Last 4 ends have seen singles scored. Can someone make a break?
It's making me think I should probably add this to my coaching clinics, Val, as something that, along the lines of momentum and how to not only combat it but monitor it. So I know previously, especially Malaysia, a good sort of 10, 15 years ago, a lot of the Malaysians used to keep a little card in their pocket, and they would mark where every bowl finished after every delivery. So they would be right across this happenings. I'm not saying players should or shouldn't do it. That's up to themselves. But I know Safwan Saeed, when he won the singles in 2008, World Outdoor Singles at Christchurch, New Zealand, defeating Aaron Sheriff in the final, I believe, in 2008, he would fill out in his pocket a little card exactly where each bowl would finish after the bowl come to rest.
Wow. That's insane.
Crazy, isn't it? For someone like yourself that's fairly new to bowls, could you imagine seeing someone once they've delivered their bowl, once they watch it finish, then reach into their pocket, fill out a card,
Yep.
and then go back to bowling.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so that's the
4
height.
times an end.
That's the heights that some players will take the game to, or when I say heights, levels, I mean.
Tony Cheung.
To monitor, and what they're doing is by doing that, and you can do it with a coach, have your coach do that with your bowls, but you can then end to end and game by game really monitor and look for any patterns of perhaps weakness, narrow a lot, wide a lot, short a lot, heavy a lot, so on. Yeah, so Tony Cheung, something similar here, forehand. He's got that jack-eye bowl of Aaron Wilson's. You can sit that, make 2, trail the jack down the line, make a couple. So there's a bit of action. So watch this. I love this, Val. See how he put the bowl down and swap bowls? Absolutely love that.
Got a bit distracted.
So, yeah, there's a bit of action going on next door. But, a few bowls, as you can see, just creeping over to their rink. A bit of movement from the markers and umpires. And Tony is resetting again, and he's stepping away. Absolutely love that. I can't encourage that anymore. If your mind slightly, these players are trying to win a world title here.
Yep.
Tony Cheung's coming up against the current Commonwealth Games back-to-back gold medalist. He wants to play at his absolute best here, perform at his best, and he's got a little bit of irregular movement, irregular motion to his right. It's breaking his concentration, and he didn't want it to beat him. So he said, I'll just take my time here and reset. He's played beautiful weight, just missing his line, but it just goes to show these players at any level, they can get distracted or disturbed, and they won't let that own them. They'll go back and reset.
Change of hands here from Aaron Wilson. What has he got here? He's not far. He wants it to run. Has he done enough? I think he has. That's the boss, Barry.
Yeah, that's the boss. He's left a gap there, which is handy also. He hasn't really made it much wider. Just need to get a view on who's actually got the tee. For me, it's probably Tony Cheung's bowl just in front of Aaron Wilson's right knee there. That would be the tee for me. So that might, even though Aaron's got one to come, that might determine how quick Tony goes here. But once again, we saw it earlier. Yes, Tony is only 2 down, but he doesn't want to remove his own bowl. He'll be 3 down with Aaron Wilson having a free shot at 4. So he's backing himself to draw. This is Tony. Switching hands, backhand. Needs to hurry. He's pretty close here, Val.
Not far away at all, Barry
Tony
Lester.
Cheung. He's played a great shot.
But
Is he going to... it's close.
I've got no idea. I have got no idea.
What an attempt. Two attempts on the forehand. Switches backhand. He might have nearly snatched this.
Wow. Measure indicated. Is this the moment? Aaron Wilson, if he can get another one in here, maybe even sit that bowl away for 3.
Yeah, you can see the shirt on Aaron there and the other competitors. The shirts are blowing around, wind's up. He's just taking his time, get a good feel for this. See, people say Aaron Wilson's quick. Now what are we experiencing right there? What did we just see there with Aaron Wilson?
He took his time.
So that, ladies and gentlemen...
He's gone for the bowl clean.
Looking for it.
He's going to get something for him, and he's got it.
Shot.
That will do. That will do nicely.
I've been waiting for this all match, Val. Aaron Wilson does take his time.
Yep. When he needs to, we've seen it happen.
Absolutely. Now,
so 1 to Aaron Wilson, and
we'll see if we can get a replay on that. But, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to emphasise, it's one of the most common things I definitely hear in my travels, how quick Aaron Wilson and Ryan Bester and these players are on the mat. Absolutely they are. And, arguably the longest I've ever seen anyone stand over a bowl or before playing a shot was Alan Ryan last year before taking that bowl out to win gold in the pairs. Alan was working on her mindset, working on a routine to get herself into an absolute positive position to play that bowl. Took a really good length of time, played the shot. Aaron Wilson, just sat back on that one, said, well, the elements are changing, the wind's getting up, things are all happening here, there's a bit going on. I'm just going to really take my time on this one, just get a good read of it. And then once he read it, he jumped on the mat and played it.
Well, Barry, there are 16 ends played. Not one bowler has won multiple ends here. Oh, yeah, consecutively, I should say.
Yeah, I personally can't think of many games I've been involved in, Val, or any games that present themselves where 16 ends into a game of singles and no one's won back-to-back ends. It's quite a rarity. You would have thought by now someone would have won 2 ends in a row, but that's just the way the game works out sometimes. Obviously, they're trying to win multiple ends in a row, but it's just one of those weird stats that this game's presenting itself.
Certainly is. But Disco at the moment holding 2. And you'd back Tony Cheung to go on and save that. Disco has only led after 1 end so far. And that was end 6 when Tony had a bit of rush of blood. Disco now has applied the pressure. This is the big question for Tony Cheung. Currently got 2 or maybe 3. I reckon it's 2.
It's almost the perfect head for Aaron Wilson. Not only is he holding a multiple, but he's got the tee as well. Tony Cheung will be looking to get into this.
Wait.
He needs jack movement. He's tight.
Does he get 1 out? He does. But it was the one that was questionable.
So Aaron Wilson, he's got 2 shots and the tee. Good setup here. He'll be looking to get another one in there. Playing very well, Aaron Wilson. Great touch bowls in these windy conditions. Both players proving they can play forehand, backhand, and the conversions. It's been a high-quality match.
Let's see what happens. Aaron Wilson to pop another into the count and really apply the pressure on Tony Cheung. And this one's going to drop underneath. So, Baz, you're pointing at something here. What are you pointing at?
I think it's both bowls for me. If he gets the bowl that's just short of jack high through the other one, Tony will make 1. His bowl out there at 3 o'clock's pretty protected, and he's just played weight, so I think he'll stick to his guns. Look to remove both bowls and make 1. If he gets the jack and then the back bowl, he might still win the tee. But for me, it's in these conditions, I think the best percentage shot is definitely to stick to his guns and play weight at this. So will we see for the first time in this match someone win back-to-back ends if Aaron Wilson wins this end? What do you reckon, Bell? What do you think?
No, I'm backing Tony in to save this.
Okay, Tony Cheung with weight, forehand, looking for both bowls or the jack.
I'll
He's
tell you
close.
what, Barry Lester. Oh, he only got 1 out. Well, there you go.
So for the first time, back-to-back ends by one of these players.
It's happened. Finally, it has happened. Aaron Wilson has broken the trend on end 17, and we sit at 13 apiece. So it was no harm done for Tony Cheung. Lost 2 ends in a row, but it's still level. Aaron Wilson is still only led after 1 end here. And we've played 17 at Club Helensvale. What an intriguing contest this has been. More and more people tuning in.
But just even the fact that we're at 17 ends and both players are at 13 also, it just goes to show that the ends are ticking along too. It's been quite a lengthy match already. Not so much in terms of time, because both players are fairly fast on the mat, but yeah, 17 ends played already, Val.
Exactly right, and we've played, I think, 1 hour and 20 minutes, so we're under an hour to go. Or time limited at 2 hours, 15 minutes, so we've got about 55 to go. So Dan Salmon got the job done. So he's done his part to remain undefeated. It's up to one of these two now to join him. Aaron Wilson to play Dan Salmon after this. Very big contest there, especially if Aaron Wilson wins this one. If he loses, well, there's a lot of pressure. Nicely played by man affectionately known as Disco. Can he win 3 in a row?
Tony Cheung looking to, yes, he's corrected very well there. That's a nice shot, so that'll do. Well, it just crept on a bit there, but might have just snuck in. Aaron Wilson, backhand it is. Just trying to find something in between the two red ones. Ideally, something past if he's not getting the shot. Looks like he's just pulling up. Is it enough? Yeah, it could be. So our marker having a good look for us. It's a bit of a triangle there of who's got it, so a bit of a three-way. Okay, Tony Cheung, Hong Kong, China, the lefty, shapes up on the backhand.
So Aaron Wilson, Tony can't get one in here. There's an opportunity for him to really just keep applying the pressure. This one is going to drop underneath. So where does Aaron Wilson go?
Yeah, Tony's weight was good enough there,
yep.
So that breeds a bit of confidence for his last. I think Aaron will really want to nail this now.
He simply must. He's only led after end 6 in this contest. This one has been mightily close. Tony Cheung has exhibited why he's such a renowned singles player, because he's taken it right up to the 2-time Commonwealth champion. Now, has Disco got enough on this in terms of line? It's coming. He's very close, needs to stop, and
needs
it won't.
To settle, yeah. That was the only thing. Just into that crosswind, just bowl straightening off and running on. It's a big attempt, though, because he gets Jack, he could hide it around the corner there and take away the openness to this head for Tony.
I think it's 1 to Aaron Wilson at the moment.
Yeah, that front one at sort of 2 o'clock, just not quite counting. So we'll see what Tony gets up to here. Is it a
Do we completely reverse the pattern? And Tony Cheung now starts winning him at this end.
Yeah, it's an interesting one here for Tony. He's got to focus on getting to the middle of the rink. So his weight on his last delivery would be enough, but he's got to get to the middle, where, as you can see, he was narrow with his previous delivery. So
well, he's gone wider, that's for sure.
He's a chance here. His weight looks really good. He just needs a clear run. Tony Cheung.
Might be getting it, or is he going to rub off?
He's going to flop in.
Wow.
He's done enough.
That's the boss. And
he's done it the hard way.
Retakes the lead, and we've flipped the pattern on its head. Aaron Wilson won 2 in a row, winning towards the grandstand.
Well, his bowl's just fallen out.
Wow. Tony Cheung. Oh, Aaron Wilson. Well, not so fast, Val. He wants to measure.
Yeah, so the bowl of Tony Cheung's just standing up. It's fallen over. It's, well, I guess I might as well mention it. It doesn't hurt to carry a chock in your pocket in singles. So even though he's won the end, just a little learning curve there. So players that play a lot of singles or playing third a lot, leading in pairs or playing third in a pennant environment, etc., it doesn't hurt to carry a chock in your pocket, because if you look at a head and you go, well, we should measure that, by the time you either reach for your measure or go to your bag to go and get a measure, you come back and the bowl's fallen over. Well, that's just bad luck. But if you can chock it as soon as you're looking to measure, you'll never live it down if you see a bowl fall over and you lose the measure.
Not at all. So all of a sudden, Tony Cheung wins one in this direction towards the car park. We flipped the trend on its head, and he continues to maintain his lead. 14-13 after 18. And we continue to keep going. This one is becoming a battle of attrition, because we had only one single for Tony Cheung from the first 11 ends, and a few for Aaron Wilson, but we've lost the jack there, so it's going to get rolled back, and Aaron Wilson will control the end or the length again But the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ends have all been scored with singles. Tony Cheung on the precipice of something special. We've still got a while to go, though. 7 shots away from victory. Aaron Wilson, his opponent, 8 shots off. Just 1 score more than 2 in this match. It was a big 4 to Wilson on N6. Aaron Wilson looks to have found his line. Very tense, quiet murmurs around here at Club Helensvale. It's very, very close. Both of them shot for shot continuously in the area. There's been a few ends for Aaron Wilson where Tony Cheung has just had a bit of the luck of the draw. But sometimes you need a bit of luck.
Oh, you definitely need a lot of luck throughout various events, and some days it just works for you, some days it doesn't, and yeah, you just hope that your opposition and you both yourself just get an even share, Val. That's what it's all about, and the reality is there will be luck at some stage. You just hope that it evens out. Sometimes you're playing a weighted shot, you're 2 or 3 bowls off your intended target, and you find yourself coming in working off something that you never thought about, and you get a maximum result, and that is the game we play. And you just hope that when you're getting them, opposition will soon find that a way to get them as well, and it all evens out hopefully. But you just don't like to see it, ideally, when the game's on the line.
So Tony Cheung down 2. That won't count. Marker indicating 2 anyway. Aaron Wilson trying to go around the back now, give himself some cover. And yeah, that's nice. Well, marker's now indicating 1. Saw 2 fingers before, but may have changed.
Tony Cheung, well, he's already delivered his 3, finds himself a couple down there. See, big setup backhand away from the mat. Other games going on in the foreground, the background. So sorry, just the 1 down. Bowl laying down. You always generally favour the bowl laying down. He needs to remove this bowl. He's very close. Sits it. He's going to make 2. Tony
He's sat both as well.
Well, Aaron Wilson, he can't wait to get back to the mat here. He wants to play big weight at this.
Get rid of it. He's got the tee.
Aaron Wilson. He'll be looking for that bowl at 3 o'clock. Once he gets that, he will look to get the other one just below it on the way out. If not, he might go...
Does he have the tee?
Well, he might go for the jack as well here. Here he goes. Aaron Wilson, big weight. Both bowls or jack. He's got one of them.
So, Tony Cheung now, for the first time, will take multiple ends in this contest, and he leads 15-13, Barry Lester. And again, we go up in singles. I'm running out of paper.
You need a ruler. Draw some more lines there.
I'll just go free hand.
So, Tony Cheung, back-to-back ends. Where does he put this jack? Somewhere similar where he scored last end, and that's such an important part of this match. Very, very important is trying to put the jack back in an area where you're comfortable and confident and familiar. Instead of putting a jack somewhere that just is something new and it might refresh or create a new thought pattern, whereas Tony knows this length, what line is required. A pretty good line, but just missing his weight, so just overdoing it. For me, he probably just seemed to rush that one a little bit. We see him there, just down on his knees in the background there. He's Probably just saying, take your time, relax. And he's just clicking his fingers. So they're the little battles these players have. Tony there in the background, I'll be very surprised if he just doesn't take extra time on this one. So, yeah, just having a little walk around. So that's good to see. That's what can happen. He's won back-to-back ends, and then he's put the mat down, rolled the jacks. There's a lot going on, and all of a sudden probably didn't go right back through his process with his first bowl. Rushed to the touch, and now he's overdone it with his second. So this is where, Val, your mind, as you see now, cloth over the face, starting to show some animation, is Tony Cheung.
Is he getting nervous now?
Well, this is, I mentioned it, I probably don't focus too much on more the win-loss component of the game, but more so this is where you start to think about the scoreboard a little. 15, wow, this is really happening on 15-13 up against Aaron Wilson. You know, and all those things are totally irrelevant. It's just backhand, send it out, let the bowl do the work, trust your process. So as we see here, out on a nice line, it'll get it back all right. And just overdoing the weight slightly, but that's a nice shot. As you can see, Aaron Wilson's all over it line-wise as well, so wouldn't expect him to be far away here.
He needs to put in a second here.
You can see Tony, just extra movement behind the back of the mat, moving around, few hand gestures, and just trying to keep that process the same is so important for someone like Tony. As Aaron Wilson, as we expected, has drawn another, so I'm really interested to see how Tony can control himself and conduct himself over the next 4 or 5 ends in the remaining part of this match.
Only multiple ends have been won on 2 occasions. It's been the last 4 ends. Played 19 so far. This is end 20 in this match. The 21 up. Tony Cheung just simply needs to be there. Otherwise, Aaron Wilson's going to have a chance to take the lead, Barry Lester. He has only led once. That was after end 6. This to go back in front after end 20. Just needs to put down one similar to his last.
Yeah, just seeing Peter's comment there. Yeah, so Peter, what I'm trying to get to is so many players don't actually carry a measure on them. So what you'd see if quite often is if you're looking at a head and you think you're about to concede or you're confident you are going to hold the shot.
As Aaron Wilson, Barry, puts in a third and takes the lead in this contest. 16-15.
Yeah, 3 really good shots there. So many players aren't prepared. So as the last thing you want to do is, in another situation, is hover around the head, start to look who's got shot, instead of going in there and saying, I believe it's a measure, and having the measure on you and having the chalk on you. And the time between going to measure and the time to going to reach for a measure or going to your bag, I see it day in, day out. So many people don't actually carry measures on them. It's funny, Val, the 15 to 20 seconds or even longer, I've seen players look for measures in their bags for 30 seconds. It's sad to see, and I've seen some players, unfortunately, wear the brunt of that. And, it's a really handy tip, and I bet you could interview nearly any bowler out there that play third or play singles. They would not have a chalk in their pocket. So good little tip for our players up there. And Peter, spot on, mate, no doubt about it.
Carry a chalk.
But the delayed time between saying, I think this is a measure, and you don't have a measure on you, to the time you actually need to go to your bag and back, well, that could be 40 seconds or up to a minute. And I know myself, Al, if you told me where my measure is in my bag right now, it could be anywhere. My bowls bag is a mobile home. It goes everywhere with me on the road and on planes and so on. So I try to keep my bag as tidy as possible, but somehow that measure always seems to
keep it in, have a little measure pocket.
Yeah, I do, but in the heat of a battle sometimes, because I personally don't like having anything in my pockets.
Yeah, fair enough.
I hate having anything. I definitely don't have wallets, coins, anything like that. So, Tony Cheung there, back-to-back shots. Look at that. Beautiful bowling.
It's been such an intriguing match as Aaron Wilson looks to try and extend his lead here He's trying to insert his presence on this head. Now he's actually hidden the jack. But the thing is, if he cannons in, that jack can spill back. And Aaron Wilson, I believe over there, has got a couple on the tee.
Yeah, he does. And that's spot on, Val. Well spotted, because if you can see just the way that cannon shapes up, when the jack and bowl, or when two bowls are either touching each other, or a jack and bowl are touching each other, when there's connection made, the angle won't actually change.
No.
So the way that shapes up there, what you can do, as Aaron's doing there, he's just scoping the head. He's just seeing that if contact is made, exactly where will the jack go. So
Tony Cheung.
Well, he's going to finish in a really good home. So
yeah. Now that's interesting, because if he does make contact, Tony Cheung's bowl comes into play.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Perfect, well done, Val, because sometimes when you're going for a back bowl, which he was trying to do there, Tony, it's okay to get a back bowl, but you don't want to put a back bowl in line with where the jack's going, because Aaron Wilson here, as you can see, if he belts that, this now might create a kill, which favours Aaron, because Aaron, in our book, has the tee. So Tony is actually stiff there. Tony's actually put the bowl into a position which could help the kill. So we're interested to see what happens here.
He's gone big. He's missed high. So Tony Cheung with a chance now to possibly put in a third. He's holding two, I think maybe one and a measure. 2 or 3 could be at the end of this end, but either way, he'll like his odds. It'll at least be level, barring catastrophe.
Yeah, so we're probably sitting, probably 40, 45 metres away from that jack, Val, and you can see that we can't quite tell whether it's 1 or 2. Now, look at the advantage Tony has by just being down at the head. He knows exactly the situation of this head in terms of angles, distances, so he knows what he needs to do. Beauty of visiting the head, he could potentially crack an egg on that front bowl of Aaron Wilson's and make a 3 here.
He's not far away here, Tony Cheung.
Yeah, it was worth an effort. Yeah. I don't think the jack would have sprung too far then, but he went for it.
So he'll win the end, and it'll mean 3 of the last 4 for Tony Cheung as we get back into this resumption of Tony winning to the grandstand end and Disco winning towards the bank. They want to measure. Disco reckons it's 1. Here. Yeah, huge. Because it could mean that the Hong Kong China product, 2-time runner-up in the World Champion of Champions singles, retakes the lead and enters the checkout zone. Or whether we sit at 16 all. 1. So no harm done for Aaron Wilson, but it's back to a level ball game. 16 apiece. I am definitely going to need more paper, I reckon. Just crudely drawn a grid with my pen. So, more and more people tuning in. Great to have your company from wherever you're watching. Those grandstands absolutely packed on the weekend here at the World Bowls Championships. And the 3/4 length here. Jack right on the tee. Tony Cheung looking to create an upset. Dan Salmon already has won his way through to an undefeated matchup with Aaron Wilson. Will Disco join him on 5 and zip? Neither of these two want to lose. Aaron Wilson wants it to get down, urging it to get down. Will it come underneath? Yeah, it will. That is beautiful from Aaron Wilson. Didn't have much to beat. Or had a lot to beat, I guess. Didn't have much room, and he made it work. Philip Lubke asking how much time is left. 2 hours, 15 minutes. We've still got 34 minutes of play left, so we should get this match done and dusted. Then there'll be an hour before the next game, which is Christina Christic and Alan Ryan against Amy Farrow and Sophie Tolchard. Very much looking forward to that contest, the Commonwealth Games final, the rematch. Aaron Wilson, he's going to get one around the back here.
Yeah, really good location. As much as he wants to get another one in there and start forcing his hand on the scoreboard, but he's got to take your medicine. He's got to make sure Tony Cheung is really conscious of his weight control, because Aaron's got a back bowl in there now. He can start to dictate terms now, Aaron, because he's got that back one in. He can start to look at Tony's second nearest bowl, look to turn his bowl over onto the jack. Tony Cheung, though, he's very close here.
He's
what
got
a shot.
Flops Aaron Wilson's away.
Baz is right. That's one of his nicknames. You're right, Val. It's all good. He's got a lot of nicknames, Baz being one of them. And he's on the backhand here. Needs to get down. It's drifting out in that breeze.
So
look at that steering off. No angle in that turn at all. Right at the last minute, but look where that's gone. Now, Tony Cheung has...
He's got to look at that and say, I need one back there, because that'll encourage Aaron Wilson to play with some weight, get the jack away, keep it in bounds, and possibly make a collect and go a long way to try and winning this match.
There's a few sayings in bowls, and I know, Val, you're across a few of them now, especially with your experience covering bowls. One of them is city or the bush. And city being the lights and all the glamour and all the good. The bush being maybe a little bit dark and dusty.
Mm-hmm.
And the glamour of this shot is forehand sit the bowl for 4 of Aaron Wilson's, or no, it's not city or the bush. It's just going to go out the back and protect any jack movement. Well, he's got to make it, Tony.
He needs to get there.
Careful.
I don't think he's not gotten there. So Aaron Wilson will see this as a huge opportunity now, Barry Lester. Let's see what he can do. Can he go a long way to winning this match? Who knows?
Aaron Wilson, halve the jack, run off his own bowl, make 3 or 4. Needs to play it tight. Can't play it too quick and sit his own bowl. So a minimum required amount here. Just looking to play 6 or 8 feet away. Well, he's turned his back on it. It's going to
tight.
Run away on him a touch. Perfect weight though, Val.
Tony Cheung wins back-to-back ends again, and he's in the checkout zone now. He's within an end of victory. First to 17. Absolutely wonderful contest this has been.
Benny's at Mooney Ponds.
Yep.
G'day, Benny. Mooney Ponds. Had 4 or 5 years at Mooney Ponds Bowls Club.
It's a great club down there near Queen's Park.
What a location inside Queen's Park. Lots of weddings.
Yep.
Won a state pennant there back in 2008 with the Mooney men back then.
Very nice. It's actually on my local walk, Baz.
I love Mooney Ponds. Great area.
Yeah, one of my favourites. Grew up around there.
Brother-in-law lives down the road in Ascot Vale. Yeah, lovely part of the world. G'day, Benny. And, enjoy your time at Mooney Ponds Bowls Club. Great club and full of history. And
Frank Bellino.
Yeah.
Down there.
Of course, Benny does a great job on his live streaming, and Tony Cheung just wants to get this done here. He is playing super bowls. It's something that I monitored a few ends ago, Val, and mentioned to our viewers. I'm interested to see how Tony really does conduct himself over these next 3 or 4 ends, and a lot of it will come back to how he controls the emotion and the routine and all that, and he seems pretty settled to me. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, he does. There was that end where you said he might have been a bit more animated, where I thought maybe he's getting nervous, and then you see Disco pick up a 3 and think, all right, maybe there's a possibility that Disco may run away with it, but Tony Cheung he's been mega. Gary Baxter asking what type of bowls they're using, both on XGs, as Tony Cheung puts in another one not too far away, so he's got 2. Disco.
Oh, yeah, Disco
It's got to be close.
He just needs to sit on one of those. Tony set up a nice little target for him here.
I reckon he's got something here, Barry.
Aaron Wilson, sit the ball. What a shot, Aaron Wilson. That's perfect.
Right behind the jack. That is beautiful from Aaron Wilson.
Yeah, not only has he sat that bowl, but the beauty of the way he's finished is he set up the head for a number. So as you can see, if Aaron repeats the dose there on the forehand, he can trail it for 3. And Tony, well, he'll be onto that. He needs to not only try and get the shot back, but try and finish somewhere, if he is narrow, around that back bowl of Aaron Wilson's. He's close here, Tony Cheung.
Tony Cheung.
Well, he's done it. What a shot.
He's gotten rid of it. But now Aaron Wilson, bit more weight, trail the jack, put it right near those other two if he can.
It is blowing a gale here now, Val.
What a match this has been.
The flagpoles are ting, 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 ting.
Sound effects by Barry Lester.
The famous ting of the flags. You know when you hear that noise, it is blowing a gale.
And Aaron Wilson, he's not far away. Can he get the jack? No.
Oh, millimetres from the jack there.
Just needs something similar with his last.
Any touch for 2 or 3 there. Perfect weight. As we see Tony Cheung here, down here on the 4, backhand, trying to sit or trail. Yeah, great effort there from Aaron Wilson. But look what Aaron Wilson's managed to achieve here. And this is the beauty of being as consistent as you can as a player. He's got those 3 bowls waiting. Now, Tony runs the risk if he switches hands, which he's doing, which I thought he would do, is that it's a whole new ball game out there. It's a bit slower out there. It's a wider drawing arc. And, the wind's pumping across the head. He doesn't want to let the conditions win here and play an ineffective bowl. He's got to hang around. Well, see, there you go.
He's found the goalposts, and now Aaron Wilson, well, Barry Lester, this is a huge bowl. Needs a slight correction on line, and it's a possibility for a 4.
Yeah, but we're talking about Aaron Wilson here, Val. We're talking, he's the type of bloke with his skill set, he might just run that shot bowl out of Tony Cheung's to make 1 or 2. He's potentially got 3rd, and you never know. He might get a couple of others on the way out. So, Aaron Wilson, the conditions say he might drive at this. Let's have a look. He is looking for the shot bowl.
Aaron Wilson, tell you what, he's not far away here. He's gone through the gap. You are kidding me.
I told you, drive or draw in these conditions most times. And when you've got a runner like Aaron, you'll back yourself.
So, 1 to Tony Cheung, who has now won 5 of the last 6 ends. That 3 to Aaron Wilson on end 20, proving to be absolutely pivotal. He leads it by 2 and is within 3 of victory. Aaron Wilson has scored the only multiple, Barry. There's only been 1 multiple scored in the last 11 ends that we've played.
Yeah, both players really on top of their games here.
Last 12 ends, sorry.
And that's evidence of the stats. So here you are, filling our viewers with the stats, Val. Great job, mate. And as I mentioned earlier, and you're playing a game, no matter what level it may be, your card will give you those stats too. But it's too late after the game to look at the card and see what you could have changed or what you could have done to tackle some of those trends. You've got to be keeping an eye on the card throughout the match. And unfortunately, in a game of singles, well, the marker's got the card and the marker's got a little information for you. Then you can surely you can request to see the card throughout the match when a marker is marking a singles game for you. And if not, keep your own card.
Tony Cheung has lifted enormously. 5 of the last 6 ends have gone the way of the Hong Kong China product, but the problem is he's only outscored Disco 5-3 because Disco scored that all-important triple. Not to mention the 4 that he scored on N6. He's only led after 2 ends in this match, Aaron Wilson. Yeah, doesn't matter when you lead, as long as you lead at the all-important 21 mark.
That's right, and Disco picked up a really good 3 in this direction not long ago. He'll be confident he can back that up plays a nice draw shot there. So great shot from Aaron. So all of a sudden, Tony's bowl there at 6:30 starting to become a little bit vulnerable, standing up. Aaron's thinking, well, if he doesn't get another one in there.
And he has last bowl. Don't forget that.
Tony Cheung, he'll be just looking to get another one in there, get another one around it. He wants to be at least beating Aaron's other closest bowl, and he is close here.
He's not far. Is he going to drift under? Just, and he knocks Aaron's closer.
Aaron on the mat already, off he goes. So he wants to just keep that rhythm going. Once again, not falling or concentrating on any externals such as the scoreboard, just playing to what he sees. He sits this bowl. It's huge. Well, that's a great shot from Aaron Wilson.
It is. So now that is looking like 2. It is.
So Tony Cheung.
Trail of the Jack, Baz.
Well, he's 2 down. But as you can see there, look at the body language. I'm rapt to see this from Tony. He's really up for the challenge. He's having to look down. You see he's gesturing with his hand what he needs to do. Well, there's a few options. It comes down to how you're feeling in the conditions. He could go straight at this, try and put the jack in the ditch. Or, for me, I think the percentage shot is something similar to his last. If he happens to pick up the jack, he can make 3. Or just hang around and sit something maybe for second. Well, it's on its way. Backhand. I think he's looking to arrive here. Trail the jack.
Is he wide?
Can he sit on something out in the wing, maybe reduce the count?
He's too wide, I think. So Aaron Wilson with an opportunity. I think he's holding 2.
Aaron Wilson, backhand trail about a foot, makes 4 for me.
It would be quite unbelievable.
He may already have 2.
I think the markers said the markers put up 2 red paddles.
Okay, so Aaron again here, Val, taking his time. The quickest player on the mat in the world, and you love to see this. Just taking his time, reading the conditions, reading the moment, waiting for next door to deliver. Look at this. You love to see it. And here he goes, Aaron Wilson on the forehand.
So, this is huge. To put him back in front, he watches, he studies, it's coming, it's turning. It's got too much weight, I think, Barry.
What an attempt. Great shot by Aaron. Just a fraction over. Perfect weight if he got some of the jack, but 4 beautiful bowls from Aaron there, both not only jack high but beyond, giving himself every chance, Aaron Wilson.
2, it is. Level pegging. 18 apiece. Aaron Wilson again with an all-important multiple. And, well, there's a maximum of 6 ends left in this contest now. Or 5, I should say. We near the end, Barry. We have no idea. I can't pick it.
Yeah, it is really anyone's at the moment. It's a tough one to pick for sure.
20 minutes to go as well, actually. Are we okay for time? We should be.
So we are down to 20 minutes. Well, you never know, Val.
If we go those full 5 ends, then
it's borderline.
Yeah.
If it goes, we start going into single, single, single. And as you saw there, and as we know, it's widely talked about, Aaron Wilson is definitely one of the quicker players going around. But we've seen it on a few occasions here when the conditions are, just blustery and there's a few big decisions to make. Great composure from Aaron Wilson just to stop, read the moment, read the conditions, and then try and execute the play.
Cody Packer and Jesse Nerona both watching on, voicing their support for the Bruv.
Aaron Wilson, that should be enough. Yeah, it's tricky angles.
It's close. I'm not calling this one. I'm not game enough.
But all of a sudden, it's a sort of a different style of game now, heading back in this direction. As we see, both angles are pretty much covered to the jack. See, Aaron Wilson's the front. Aaron Wilson's never going to play that backhand again, or his forehand again, because that blue bowl is vulnerable. So Aaron Wilson's only ever going to play this side of the rink, the right side. I think Tony needs to be getting in there first. While that front blue one there at the top left of the screen is there, Aaron Wilson won't play that hand again.
He's under here, I think, Aaron Wilson.
So I think Tony needs to play the open hand, try and shut it down before Aaron does. I'm not quite sure what Tony's aiming to do here. He's having a chat to someone on the bank. Well, he is going forehand, so maybe he's under instruction with his coach. I thought it was forehand with the previous delivery.
Beau Prudhoe watching on as well. Tony Cheung, what an accomplished singles player he is.
Out on a good line, Val.
Not far away at all.
Needs the right weight. Well, he's drawn it, but I thought he has drawn it. I thought that was the hand to play. Well, there you go.
Swinging in hard too. So Aaron Wilson with one to come, and he's down one, I reckon.
Aaron Wilson, if he doesn't draw this, he must reach. He must reach for me. He's got to get this in behind the jack, even if he doesn't score the shot.
He's reaching, that's for sure. I reckon he's got more than enough weight to reach.
Yeah, he knows any jack movement for Tony Cheung is in his favour. So Aaron Wilson, what's he got?
I'll tell you what, Baz,
He's
close to the jack.
He's done it. Well, it ran
Has
on.
that done enough? I thought that was going to pull up then. It's
has
close
run
now
on.
for shot between about 3 or 4 bowls.
Well, we're seeing.
This is a huge end of bowls. Both bowlers, as Ricardo Rubinat from Argentina takes a victory. They are a vibrant team, the Argentinians.
I've never seen that before, but I absolutely love it, Val.
Love a bit of character.
Look at in the background there, running around, carrying a flag like he's just won a 100-metre sprint at the Olympics. I love it. How good are the World Championships?
Yeah, and
Players
we saw them with their Messi chant the other day.
wearing their hearts on their sleeve, proud to be here representing their countries, and that is just what it's all about.
So, Tony Cheung, this end is absolutely swooping. It's starting to come back now. It'll clear the front, that's for sure. Is it going to have enough to draw the shot? I reckon he will.
Front toucher, if you don't mind. Tony Cheung.
Monumental. Now, what is the count? That is a beautiful shot from the Hong Kong China product. I reckon we're going to get a measure here for second. Disco calls one. I think Tony wants to measure it.
Yeah, just touching on that from the Argentinian player there. I won't repeat his name as good as you, Val, but
Ricardo Rubinat.
yeah, one shot to Tony Cheung. You know, and with games, so many games coming up against, players of these ability at World Championship level. As we see a replay of Tony Cheung here. One down as it worked out by the measure. He's come down, drawn the boss.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you love to see it. Now, why does it have to be a gold medal match for you to run down the green carrying your flag? It doesn't matter what moment it is.
Because you're not in, some people aren't in the tournament to think that they're going to win. A win might be like a gold medal for them.
Absolutely spot on, and that's what participation is all about, Val.
And you see in other sports, sorry, Baz, to cut you off, but, a tennis player making a main draw at a Grand Slam through qualifying when you've never done it before, the emotions for that are huge. Winning a Grand Slam match.
Oh, that's probably the best example you can give. You see someone playing a Grand Slam and win their first round match and fall to the ground and even show tears, and that's what we're seeing here. It's a big moment for these countries, and it's obviously the world stage, and you got to celebrate all your wins any way you can get them.
So, Aaron Wilson down 19-18. He has only led after 2 ends in this match. After end 6 and end 20, coincidentally, after a 4 and a 3, Tony Cheung has led for the majority of it. But having said that, 5 of his first 6 scores, Tony Cheung, were multiples. But now, since then, since end 11, when he scored his last 2, he has scored 8 singles. So Aaron Wilson constantly probing, constantly has things in the head, making him work.
He's in the box seat here, Aaron. So Tony Cheung. Both bowls short of the jack. Aaron Wilson, well, he'll try and back himself to draw another one here. Clear road for two. All of a sudden, Tony's going to be starting to really feel that scoreboard pressure. He's strong enough to block it out. Just focus on what he can control. Out of 18 inches of grass, step into it, give it a chance.
So, David Lockhart just saying it's the host country playing the Blue Ribbon event and there's no one there watching. There's actually a fair few people around the green, not to mention the fact that there's 5 host clubs. So, on a Wednesday afternoon, so a lot of people obviously at work. Obviously not easy to get to on the middle of the week, but there are plenty of people watching.
And, of course, we've got another green down the bottom there.
Yeah, with heaps of people down there as well watching women's pairs action. So,
yeah, it's
Disco
Aaron
puts
Wilson
in a second here, Barry Lester.
Yeah, holding 2. And that's right, Val, across all the venues today, not just here at Helensvale. There'll be good, solid crowds at all the venues. Mudry Bar, Broad Beach, Paradise Point, Club Helensvale.
Yep. But saying that it's the World Championships, well, yes, but people do still need to work, unfortunately, and I'm sure they'd get here if they would. Don't you worry about that. I'm sure we're distracting a lot of people while they work.
Or in having showers, we heard earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
No, so Tony Cheung here, forehand. He needs to try and just work one up there as close as he can. Aaron Wilson's played another crack around in this direction. He's needs to hurry.
He might get there, Barry.
He's going to try and cut it back at least. Can he draw the shot? Well, it's got second out of it.
So he does have second. Aaron Wilson now again with an opportunity to take the lead and go within 1 of victory.
I think he'll try and win the game here, Aaron Wilson. It'll be just a backhand draw, jack down the line, 6 to 8 inches, which will bring that bowl in at sort of 3:30, 4 o'clock in, and try and win the game here. Try and pick up a 3. So Aaron Wilson.
Would be unbelievable if he did. He's only led after 2 ends of the 25 that we've played.
Just trying to trail this jack about a foot, ideally on the right angle. Now he's stopping halfway down the green to stalk this. What's he got?
He's watching it.
Maybe
Aaron
bowl
Wilson.
then jack.
Oh, my word. So he went for it, didn't get it. 10.
Afternoon bowlers, this is your 10-minute warning. 10-minute warning. Thank you.
The voice of Paul Holschke giving us a 10-minute warning. Wow. So we sit at 19 all. We should get
depending on
next. Well, there's 3 ends left. Maximum.
Singles 4 bowl. You should be playing probably somewhere around about the 6 or 7 minute to play an end. But as we see, there you go. There's probably 20 seconds. Just a little pause in play. Aaron resetting. Then you've got some players visiting the head. And you've got a fairly free running green. Now, if this green was running 17, 18 like it was on the weekend, that's when the ends can really drag out.
They can.
But I suspect that there would be only one more end after this.
Robin Lee Russell, as a tour guide at the MCG, just promoted the World Bowls at the Australian Museum of Sport. How good is that?
And what a venue that is. So,
yep.
That gentleman,
Robin Lee Russell.
Good afternoon. And, for those that can check it out, the Sports Museum at the MCG, it is absolutely class.
I'm very lucky that I get to live in the same city as the MCG, and my football team hosts their games there, and it is absolutely magical. It's a wonderful place, unlike that other joint,
Aaron
which
Wilson
will remain nameless.
On the forehand, he needs to trickle on. So, Aaron Wilson currently holding 1. Tony Cheung, small correction required. Probably just take a yard of weight off. Backhand it is, heading into the south direction.
If either of them scores a 2 here, it's over. This could be the last end. We don't know.
Looks to be tight. Tony Cheung
So Aaron Wilson won't have last bowl here. That's the problem for him. Tony Cheung will have right of reply with whatever does happen.
So Tony's last two ends, his first two bowls, have let him down. He's having to try and save with his last two. Previous end, 2 bowls short. And these ones just off course. So Aaron Wilson's trying to make the most of this room Tony's providing.
He wanted to just run on a bit more. It would have liked a bit more there, wouldn't he?
Yeah, but should be enough.
It'll be 2, definitely.
Tony here, well, this is, we speak about it all the time, Val. It's not how many you play, it's when you play them.
Yep.
Can you bring the best bowls when it matters?
Well, he's played some rippers.
Is he reaching? Well, Tony, he's not reaching.
So Aaron Wilson currently holding game at the moment. Looking to put in a third. Now, where does he put this third if he gets it, Barry Lester? Where are you telling, or where would you be putting it if you're him? What are the options?
I'm really confident that Aaron can draw another one. I think he needs another one in there in case Tony does run and flick one out, and that means that Aaron can't win the game. So Aaron needs to just get third shot here. Ideally not creating a bigger target for Tony, but unfortunately Tony's only played 1 bowl out of his last 7 deliveries as Aaron draws the boss.
So,
doesn't want to sit next to it.
He's gone.
So Tony Cheung's objective here is not the shot. It's to draw jack high 2 feet away and get second and stay in the game.
Yep.
Whereas if he...
Well, this is the end where he's pulled out something weird on a couple of occasions.
Well, as I mentioned, Tony's been left to try and stay in this game with his last...
Yep.
With his 3rd or 4th deliveries. Front 2 bowls have just let him down, but he needs to stay composed here, having a chat to his coach. I don't think it's weight. I think he needs to play to the area. He needs to just draw backhand, find 1 yard of weight on his previous delivery, and that should be enough to get second and keep him in this game. But can he hold his composure, play it when it matters, send it out on a higher line? Well, he's definitely sent it out on a kind line.
He has.
It's just a matter of being the right weight now. Is he going to make it? Let's watch Aaron Wilson's body language. Well, he's reaching for the mat. So he has drawn second, Tony Cheung.
Wow.
Good shot there. Good shot there.
Wow, wow, wow. We go on. Aaron Wilson takes the lead for the 3rd time in this match. We've got 6 minutes left to play.
Well, maybe a slight chance for another end after this. Just slightly.
I've only got 1 left in the book. We could be going to a 20-all shootout here between Tony Cheung and Aaron Wilson. Disco doesn't usually play matches that go this long, but
yeah,
this has been a great contest.
No, we'd prefer not to see time.
4 minutes 53 is what we're told.
Prefer to see time not come into play here. But the players know the rules, and they've got to make sure that they're moving at the right rate.
I reckon we're going to get the allotment in. We're going to get a result here.
I think this is definitely the last end, Val.
Well, even if we do get one more in, this one won't go for 5 minutes.
Just a reminder, though, if Tony Cheung does score here and the blower does go, it's a draw.
Yes. Well, they just have to roll the jack for the final end, and then they can complete it. So
they can roll the jack after the hooter goes?
No, so say if they've started the final end.
Yes.
So if Tony scores here, there's still 4 and a bit minutes left to go.
Aaron Wilson on the backhand, looking to play that little narrow line, poking up into the jack. Not a bad effort.
Good home. So Disco has...
The winner hasn't been played yet, Val.
No, he's held game in the previous end. Tony Cheung needs a 2. Disco needs a 1. And if Tony scores a 1 on this end, we go to a 20-all shootout.
Well, that's going to be the shot for now. Still a bit of room for Aaron Wilson. The beauty about Aaron's first 2 is that they're the same, so that gives him some confidence that he can just repeat the dose, which he has with the first 2, and just let that auto-correct set in, just set everything up the same. Can he get the jack, Aaron Wilson? He's very close here.
He's just under.
It might be enough for shot, though. That's great shooting in this circumstance. Not only has he got the shot, but he's given the other 2 bowls a chance.
Just needs to be out on a bit more of a wider line with his next. But the stat for Tony Cheung is he has led, of the 27 ends that we've completed, he's led after 18 of them. Aaron Wilson has led after 3.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be reaching this one, Tony. It's taking a long time to get here. Well, that's that.
Has he got tentative with his weight in the last few ends, Barry? Disco's won 3 of the last 4.
Well, that one he could have afforded to be there. He could have actually tried to play for the win, sit the bowl for 2 or trail for 2, but that those front 2 blue bowls there, as you can see, his effective rate the last 3 or 4 ends has really dropped, and he's been able to just manage to get the 1 in there out of his 4 deliveries.
Hasn't scored a multiple, Tony Cheung, since the conclusion of end 11. We're sitting at end 28 now. Aaron Wilson,
Aaron can shut this down, Val. He can shut it down with a trail.
He's very close. Aaron Wilson wants it to hold. He has got the jack. And he's currently holding 4, I reckon.
And that's what I said. Those first 2 bowls, Val, were very handy. It gave him all the confidence in the world just to go up there and try and trickle the jack back. He ran a real small risk in back cutting it, but he's played beautiful weight. And that's the beauty of having bowls to play to in this match. All the confidence in the world to do that. Great shooting, Aaron Wilson. So the Bruv and the Disco, boy from Bendigo, Sonanad.
Well, it doesn't matter what he's holding.
He's
holding game, and Tony Cheung has to try and draw the shot to save it. It's been a monumental contest. Magnificent in every way. Full of drama. Tony Cheung from Hong Kong, China to keep it alive. He's underneath. And Aaron Wilson, after a titanic tussle, holds on. After only leading for 4 of the ends that we played. Unbelievable. 28 ends the match went. Disco led after 4 of them and won the contest. What a performance. 21-19 over a valiant Tony Cheung of Hong Kong, China. Barry Lester, what a match.
Yeah, these games are going to test you throughout the pool matches. So many games that go on, so many mini stories untold. Players and spectators will see the big matches on TV, the finals, but this was a really good insight to what the players face to try and come away with a world title. So many pool games where they need to battle the conditions, battle the different venues, and just keep going and going and going. And Aaron Wilson, well, that is a very big battle for him and a great win. Tony tested him all day, took it right to him. Tony's effective rate just dropping away the last couple of ends, so I'm sure Tony will take a lot of learnings out of that, but well done to both players. And they really showed to the viewers today that all these players in all these countries are up for the challenge, and this event is anyone's.
It certainly is. Thank you very much, Barry Lester. And what a match it was. Tony Cheung led the end count 14 wins to 11. And in the end, Aaron Wilson levelling it up at 14 ends apiece and winning the match 21-19 to maintain his undefeated run here at the World Bowls Championships in the men's singles. Stay tuned because we've got an hour to kill before the women's pairs, the Commonwealth Games final rematch. Christina Christic and Ellen Ryan up against Amy Farrow and Sophie Tolchard will be back in just under an hour's time for what is promising to be an epic tussle.